Hello and welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and give you more confidence in the words or understanding the words that people are saying all around you in everyday life. We're looking at apologies today, so if you want to learn about them, stick around. There's even some homework at the end to see if you grasp the concepts we're talking about while we look at Alex Murdaugh's courtroom apology. He was in court at the beginning of April, his seemingly monthly courtroom appearance, to have more years added to his sentence, to have more money that he has to pay to victims, and for Alex to stand up in front of a judge and deliver some kind of apology. And it's that apology that we're going to look at. If you're new to the channel, if you're into the Alex Murdaugh story, then there are many other bits of content that look at the Alex Murdaugh story, looking at Murdaugh himself, looking at Becky Hill, and even his son Buster as well. There's a link to that YouTube playlist in the show description. So what did Alex say in court? He said, "I do want you to know, and all the victims to know, I am filled with sorrow, I am filled with remorse, and I am filled with guilt. Judge, I know there's not enough time and I don't possess sufficient vocabulary to express to you in words the magnitude of what I feel about what I did. As you pointed out, for a long period of time, I literally am filled with sorrow and I am filled with guilt. I also spend a lot of time trying to think about how in the world I might ever make it up for the things I've done. As I stand here today, I am 937 days clean, and I am very proud of that fact. One of the reasons that my addiction grew to the extremes that it did is that I was using opiates to hide from the things I was doing to people that I cared about. I hope with every cell of my existence, I hope that I would not have done the things that I did had I not been addicted to opiates. And while I hope that, I also know for a fact that I knew what I was doing was wrong. I am very committed to trying to be a better person." So what's the perfect apology then? The perfect apology is something like, "I'm sorry for," and then saying the actions that or the thing that you are sorry for. Or something like, "I apologise that I," and then it's followed up with what the thing was. If it doesn't have the part, the thing that you are sorry for, or the thing that is being apologised for, and that's explained in a little bit of detail, it's not really worth a lot. And it also needs to have that "I" at the beginning of it, not just "sorry for upsetting you." No, "I am sorry for upsetting you. I am sorry for upsetting you." I shows that the person saying it has that ownership. So that's what we're going to look at, the concept we're going to look at as we look at Alex's statement in court there. If you enjoy this, press the like button. It helps to get to a whole load more people. I know lots of people are interested in this story. If you know some of them, please share this with them as well. And I'm always interested in any comments that you have. You can stick them down here if you can on this platform. Or if you want to, then you can get in touch on social media. All the details for that are in the show description. So let's look at the first part of Alex's statement. "I do want you to know, and all the victims to know, I am filled with sorrow, I am filled with remorse, and I am filled with guilt." Well, this has that "I" there. I do want you to know. I am filled with sorrow. I am filled with remorse. I am filled with guilt. So he's taking lots of ownership in terms of what is going on here. He starts by saying "I." So this is coming from him. He's joining himself to this statement by saying "I." But what is that statement? "I want you to know that all the victims to know I'm filled with sorrow, I'm filled with remorse, and I'm filled with guilt." Why? Why are you sorry? Why are you remorseful? Why do you feel guilty? He does not say at all. And it could be he's sorry he got caught. It could be he's remorseful he got caught. It could be that the guilt is towards the other people that he was running these scams with and they got found out and put in jail as well. He doesn't say. And when someone doesn't say something, we can't fill in those blanks for them. We can't assume what we mean. Never ever be kind and go, "Oh, I assume he means he's sorry to the victims here," or I'm sure he's remorseful about what he did in ripping people off for millions of dollars. If he doesn't say it, don't do it. It's a really good rule in life. Don't write in words that someone hasn't said. Just assume the words that are there are the only words that they want to say. What's important to Alex here? Well, he starts by saying, "I want you to know." And that's what's really important for him, is he wants you to know. So it's "I want." So what's important to Alex is himself. I want this. He's not saying this in any other way. "I'm sorry for what I did. I apologize to ripping you all off." No, it's "I want you to know." That's what's important. And again, what's he's saying it there, look, knowing this is important, not me being sorry. That's not what's important to Alex whatsoever. What he actually genuinely feels, what he has inside them, is not the most important thing to him. The most important thing to him is that you know, that I think that's the judge he's addressing there. So the judge knows and the victims know. And notice the order as well. The judge comes first, the victims come second. He says 3 times in this extract he's filled with something. You can't be filled with something 3 times, can you? You can't have 3 full loads of something inside you. You're only fit 1. So this is not true. Yeah, it's a metaphor, really, I know. But again, it's not true. It's not true. And also, when people are manipulative, when they're trying to get you to really, really understand what they're saying, liars, people will use absolutes. And that's what filled is. It's not, I have lots of sorrow, I'm remorseful, I feel guilty. No, I'm filled with these things. And he says 3 times that he's filled with these things. When someone uses absolutes like, I'd never ever do that, or you're always doing that, or that's what I've said every time, they're probably not being truthful. And that's what I think is going on here with that 3 uses of filled. He says, I'm filled with sorrow, filled with remorse, filled with guilt. Look at the ordering there. When we list things, we tend to list the first thing that we say tends to be the most important one to us, and it goes downwards from there. So sorrow is the most important thing, but we don't know what he's sorry for. Remorse is the second most important thing, and then guilt to Alex. Alex continues, Judge, I know there's not enough time and I don't possess sufficient vocabulary to express to you in words the magnitude of what I feel about what I did, as you pointed out for a long period of time. I literally am filled with sorrow and I am filled with guilt. Now, this is a statement in the negative. Alex is telling us what he's not going to do. And what he doesn't have enough of. There's not enough time, and I don't possess sufficient vocabulary. Now, this could be said in a much more positive way. With more time and a better vocabulary, I could express the magnitude. But no, he's talking here in the negative. He's telling us what he's not going to do, which is express in words the magnitude of what he feels about what I did. So, yeah, again, this is maybe manipulative language. You kind of might come away from here thinking he really liked to do these things and express this, but he doesn't say that at all. He says there's not enough time and I don't have the vocabulary to do it. He talks about expressing in words the magnitude of what I feel about what I did. Magnitude means size. And again, he doesn't say how big this size is. It could be tiny. It really could be tiny. These are manipulative words. He's not going to tell us the magnitude, whether it's big or small, because he doesn't have enough time and he doesn't have the vocabulary to do it. And it's what I feel about what I did. So it's not about understanding the magnitude of what I did. You know, I can't talk about how much I ruined everyone's life or anything like that. It's only what I feel about what I did. Alex uses literally here. I literally am filled with sorrow and filled with guilt. Literally really means factually. So if I said I'm literally on fire, the correct meaning of that would be that there are flames coming from me. However, it's come in common usage just to be like a metaphor. I literally am on fire just means, yeah, I'm going great right now. That's how Alex uses literally here. I'm not going to give him like bad marks for using it very much incorrectly with old school English. What I am going to say is, once more, it's one of those absolutes. I literally am. And again, we've got the repetition of filled with sorrow, filled with guilt. And again, the ordering is the same. Sorrow comes before guilt. Alex continues, I also spend a lot of time trying to think about how in the world I might ever make it up for the things that I've done. This is incredibly distant, this part here. It's not he spends a lot of time thinking about how he might make it up. No, he spends a lot of time trying to think. Not even thinking about how he could make amends here, but he's just trying to think about how I could make amends. So he, in his words here, he hasn't even started thinking about how he can make amends, how he can make it up. He's just been trying to do that for a lot of time. He talks about he wants to make it up for the things that I've done. Now, Alex ripped off people to the tune of millions of pounds, vulnerable people, victims of his. These are pretty awful crimes that he was sentenced to a lot of years, decades in prison for doing. So that's how bad the things that I've done are. But you'll notice he doesn't acknowledge any of that. He doesn't talk about the millions of dollars. He doesn't talk about the numerous victims and the fact they were vulnerable people who deserved that money. He just downplays that all into the things that I've done. Look, I don't have the biggest vocabulary in the world, but I've managed to talk about the millions of dollars and many, many vulnerable victims. But Alex could not do that. Don't believe it. He's downplaying that. He's running it down and he's saying these are the things that I've done. But this is just so vague and distant as to be almost meaningless. I also spend a lot of time, so you're actually spending a lot of time doing other things. So this is not your main core focus, all this regret and thinking how you could make it up. No, I also spend a lot of time doing that, but I spend a lot of time. So, that's again, incredibly vague. It's not days, nights, weeks on end. It's none of that. It's just a lot of time trying. We've spoken about trying to think. Think is really vague. It's not, I don't spend a lot of time making up for what I've done. I'm just trying to think about how in the world. So again, really vague. There's just no concept there of how it could be done. It's how in the world. And then once more, I might ever make it up. So not that I am going to make it up. I might. Really, he's saying, I'm trying to think about how I might do something. Not very impressive, is it? Alex continues, as I stand here today, I am 937 days clean, and I am very proud of that fact. Now compare this to the vagaries that have gone before, the downplaying of things, the way that words could be split to mean any one of a million things. This is really clean. I believe this. It's very factual. There's nothing in there that is manipulative language. It's just very, very believable. As I stand here today, I am 937 days clean, and I am very proud of that fact. From hearing that, I believe he is 937 days clean, and I believe he is proud of that. He takes ownership of it as well. As I stand here today, I am 937 days clean. I am very proud of that fact. So he's using the word I to join himself to what he is saying. And I really believe that. I really believe it. The statement in court continued. One of the reasons that my addiction grew to the extremes that it did is that I was using opiates to hide from the things I was doing to the people I cared about. I hope with every cell of my existence, I hope that I would not have done the things that I had I not been addicted to opiates. And while I hope that, I also know for a fact that I knew what I was doing was wrong. So, first of all, I'll point out, Alex says that this is one of the reasons that my addiction grew to the extremes that it did. Just one of the reasons. So there are multiple reasons for doing it. I'm not saying he's hiding or lying or anything like that here. I'm just saying, let's listen to what people are saying. Look at the words they're using and you'll learn so much more. So he's not saying that the entire reason that his addiction grew to the extremes it did is he was hiding from the things he was doing to people. He's just saying it was one of the reasons that his addiction grew to the extremes that it did. Once more, we see these millions of dollars being ripped off from vulnerable victims as downplayed to the things I was doing and the things that I did. So again, like I said, an apology is I'm sorry for, and then explaining what you are sorry for. The things that I'm doing, the things that I did doesn't fly in that. If you're truly sorry, you will say what you are sorry for. You won't say, I'm sorry for upsetting you. I'm sorry for upsetting you by saying that dress doesn't look nice, or whatever it is. That's how to make a really good, really clear, really easily accepted apology, not downplaying millions of dollars worth of fraud into the things I was doing and the things that I did. He also talks about the victims here. Well, he says, these are the things I was doing to people that I cared about. This is very generic there, just people I cared about. Is that the victims, or is that people who were in the scams with Alex, who have subsequently gone to jail because they got involved in this? Are those the people he cared about? Once again, he doesn't say. He's not specific in what he is saying, and we can't assume what he means. If he does mean the victims, though, I've got some bad news for them, because he describes the victims, if these are the victims, as people that I cared about. Cared, past tense, so not care about now. So if these are the victims, he's saying he once upon a time cared about them, but now he has no care about them at all, because his care is now cared. It is in the past. The genericness continues, I hope, I hope, I hope. He's hoping things. He's had a lot of time to think about this now. 937 days clear, nearly 1,000 days, and he's still not clear about what was going on. He only hopes that these things would not have happened. And he says, I hope that I would not have done the things that I did had I not been addicted to opiates. So what he's saying is his hope is he wouldn't have committed all these fraudulent acts had he not been addicted to opiates. But he also says, I was using opiates to hide from the things I was doing. So I was using opiates to hide from the fraud that I wouldn't have done if I hadn't been addicted to opiates. Doesn't fly for me, that one, Alex. He says he's hoping with every cell of my existence. Once again, that's one of those absolutes that he's very good at, and liars and manipulators are very good at using too. And he finishes that section off by saying, and while I hope that, I also know for a fact that I knew what I was doing was wrong. And that stands out for me very much like the 937 days clean statement. That part, I believe. I actually believe, and there's lots of use of I there, I know, I knew what I was doing was wrong. That's very clean. It's very believable. And I think he did know what he was doing was wrong. Hence why he's got more jail time. So have you learned? Try this one. This is the last part of that statement. Alex says, I am very committed to trying to be a better person. I am very committed to trying to be a better person. What do you notice about that? What do you think in those words? What does it mean? What's missing? What's there? What are you getting from it? Have a think about it. Let me know in the comments below if you can, or if you go to neveratruerword.com, you can give me your answer on social media. The email address is there as well if you just want to get involved by email. You don't want to make it all public. But comment below, or neveratruerword.com. What do you think is going on in that line that Alex delivers there? I am very committed to trying to be a better person. So in conclusion, on Alex's apology, he's sorry for something, but I'm really not sure what he's sorry for. And remember, take this away from you. The perfect apology is in the form, I'm sorry that or I apologize for, and it's very specific about what they're sorry about or what they apologize for. Bear that in mind, and you'll be able to see what people are doing all around you the next time you see an apology. If you want to hit the subscribe or follow button, you'll get more episodes like this whenever they land. Be really interested in your comments or your observations as well, either through social media or in the comments or chat. The like button helps this get to many, many more people who may be interested in Alex Murdaugh, or they may be interested in learning, are the people around them really apologizing or not? And likewise, you can share with anyone if you like as well, so they can upskill themselves or just learn a little bit more about how unsorry about his victims Alex Murdaugh is. Neveratruerword.com is the website where you'll find more podcasts, more videos. You can sign up for the monthly newsletter as well. And if you want to take a deeper dive into the words that people are saying all around you, then there are a couple of books available there as well at neveratruerword.com. And we'll see you again soon for something new from Never a Truer Word.